Hi everyone, Lisa here from LC Designs. Thank you for joining me for Fun Fold Friday, August 21st, 2026. You might have seen my Workshop Wednesday video where I had a Christmas card. Well, I have a Christmas card for you again today, but this one, it's a fun fold. So it's like a stepper card and it's cute, and I use non-traditional colors. So, it opens, folds, we'll get into more detail when I put you guys down. But of course, I have a lot of announcements. So if you're on my email list, you would have got this morning. If you're not on my email list, just join my email list and you will get the tutorial for Fun Fold Friday and Workshop Wednesday. So as always, my announcements, I have my September Let's Create craft kit that you can subscribe to. It's a monthly subscription. This month we're using the painted pumpkins, and I usually do 4 cards and a 3D project. So here's one of the cards. Look at how cute that gate is, and it opens and you got your sentiment. And these leaves are all done with the decorative masks and some blending brushes. Here's another one, the gate, but the gate just stands still. Here is another one using the decorative masks, and another one using the decorative mask, and then that embossing folder that comes with the bundle. So there is an embossing folder. It doesn't come with the bundle, it comes with the suite and then the decorative mask. So you can always add the bundle on, and all you have to do is email me. Once you subscribe, just email me, let me know that you would like to add the bundle, and then I pay the tax and shipping from Stampin' Up, and I'll send it in your kit. And this month you're gonna get a package of embellishments, a spool of ribbon, and a half a package of the designer series paper that coordinates, which is called the Painted Patch designer series paper. All right, so today is Friday. Yesterday, my registration for my Oh My Fright Halloween class ended, but I wanted it extended one more day since I was doing my video today. So this class is the Halloween treat package class, and in it we use the Oh My Fright bundle, and you'll get the ghost dots and bats, and then the black iridescent ribbon, and half a package of the Frightfully Fun designer series paper, which you'll use on your projects. You'll get 5 project packets because there's 5 projects. Here's one of them. It's a treat box. So you will use some of your supplies that you receive. This is a hand sanitizer holder. This is another treat box, and it's a triangle shaped box. It has a magnetic closure. Here is this one, and this, I have some little candy bars in there, so it'll fit like 2 of them. And then you have the gable box that you'll decorate. And so there's 3 options. If you want the bundle, and then you'll get all the 5 project packets, the designer series paper, the embellishments, the ribbon. That is $92.50, plus it'll be shipped to you. That includes shipping and the PDF tutorial. That's option number 1. Option number 2 is take out the bundle. You'll get everything else, the project packets, a designer series paper, embellishment, ribbon, and that one is $45 shipped to you with the PDF tutorial. If you already have all the supplies, everything, you just want the PDF tutorial, that is $15, and that is $15, and then I'll email the tutorial to you. That's option number 3. So all the registration link will be down below. And then before I forget, we have the product of the month, which is this gorgeous paper, which I actually have right here. So pretty. Sorry for the glare, but there's all these different, so when you spend $75, you get to choose the product of the month for $5. and I will send you a 12 project tutorial using this product of the month. All right, I think all but one more thing, my adhesive kits. I have my adhesive kits. These are $50 and it includes shipping. You get the free clear bag, you get the free adhesive eraser and the free glue holder with the liquid glue, the mini glue dots, a seal, a Stampin seal, and then mini dimensionals and regular dimensionals. Oh, and the fine tip glue and the seal. So you get all those goodies for $50 shipped to you. Just message me and let me know that you would like one. You can message me or you can email me and I will get one out to you. All right, I think we're ready to make our Christmas. Okay, so before we get started with our project, I just want to warn you, this one has a lot of measurements to it. So I think some of these I already have like cut ready for my die cuts. The rest we're gonna cut because there's a lot of layers. So as usual, if you are on my email list, you already received this morning. If you're not on my email list, I advise you to go ahead and take a screenshot of all these measurements because there's a lot here. We have a lot of layers. So let me show you the card. This is our card, and it's a very non-traditional colored Christmas card. I love the Beautiful Ordinary Life Designer Series paper, so I wanted to make a card. So this is like a double step card, and you can put your message in here. And with the Festive Cheer bundle, you can use some other stamps. But see all our layers. We have a ton of layers here. So that's why there's all of this. And again, go ahead and take your screenshot now. And then we will get started. So we're using the Festive Cheer bundle. Like I said, in the inside, you could put Holly Jolly Greetings, Deck the Halls. I left mine blank. You put Sending Cheer because we're just going to add the Noel on the front that we're going to die cut. All right, and then we're using just the circle from the Stylish Shapes dies. So let me get started. This one is a little tricky. I'm going to move this over because we need all the room we can get. So this is going to be a pretty peacock base, and we're going to go 5.5 by 11. And so we already know that this is 11. And we are going, so here's where we're going to get a little, not tricky. I mean, it's really not that hard. You just got to pay attention. I'm going to move my blade out of the way for a minute. So I'm going to line up on this side of my trimmer, and I'm going to line it up at 1 1/4. So 1 1/4 on this side. And then we're going to cut from 1 inch to 5 1/4. So you see the 1 inch right here on the trimmer? I'm going to put a mark there just so that you guys could see where I'm going. And we're going to go down to 5 1/4, which is right here. And I'm going to make another line. And I'm just doing that so that you guys could see. So I'm going to put my trimmer, my blade, right at the 1 inch. So see this line here is going to the 1 inch. And then my other mark is right here. So we're going to go down to 5 1/4. Okay, so now we're going to lift this up. We're going to flip it over and we're going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to the 1 1/4. I'm going to get that blade out of the way for a minute. 1 1/4. And I'm going to make my 1 inch mark line right here so that you could see it. I'm probably not making a very good one because I'm trying not to stick my head in. And then there's the 5 1/4. So again, I'll line up starting at the 1 and then go down to the 5 1/4. All right. So now we're gonna line up the long side, the opposite end from our cuts. These are our cuts. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna score at 2 1/2. Get my blade out of the way. I do not want to be cutting. I probably made that mistake. So we're gonna, okay, now we're gonna line up the cardstock again, but you know what? I'm going to grab my Simply scoring tool because I think this makes it a little bit easier than trying to do it all on the trimmer. But you can do it on the trimmer. So we are going to put our cardstock where the cuts are. Oh, that's my tick. I was trying to wipe it off. I'll erase that. So on the side where the cuts are, we're going to score at 1 inch and just to the cut line. And then we're going to score at 2 inches just to the cut line. And then we're going to score at 5 1/4 just to the cut line, kind of where my tick marks were. And then we can flip it over and do exactly the same. So 1 inch to the cut line, 2 inches to the cut line, and 5 1/4 to the cut line. Now we're gonna score at 4 1/4, but just in between the cut lines. So here, so 4 1/4, you could kind of like guide yourself down and then just find your score line. And this will all make sense, but we have to do this for these, for this fun fold to make our steps. All right, that is it. I hope that made sense. I'm gonna erase my tick marks. They're probably gonna get covered up anyway, but let's erase them. Okay, so now this one is going to go inward, upward. These we can fold like so. And if you put it upside down, that's like a T, but that's upside down. This is the way our card is gonna go. So see, all that just for that. So it's fairly easy, right? Okay, so now we are gonna do a lot of layer cutting. So back with my trimmer, I'm going to, let's see if there's a way that I can put this and this so you could see what I'm cutting. And my son keeps peeking in here. The more I get rid of it, the more it comes in. So let's start with our pull party. We're gonna do 7/8 by 5 3/8. So 7/8 by 5 3/8. And we'll cut all the designer series paper after. So the designer series papers are just gonna match our layers. Okay, and then we need 2 7/8 by 3 1/8. So 2 7/8. 2 7/8. My paper's gonna keep moving by 3 1/8. There's that layer, pull party. 1 1/8 by 3 1/8. So let's see, this is 3. Let's go. Okay, 1 1/8. 1 1/8, right? And we need 2 of these. 1 1/8. I'm gonna do the 1 1/8 again. And by 3 1/8. I think this is just a smidgen over 3 1/8. 3 1/8. All right. What other pull parties? So we needed 2 of those. And now 2 3/8 by 5 3/8. Is this 5 3/8? No. So 2 3/8. 2 3/8. 2 notches before the half. 2 3/8 by 5 3/8. I keep repeating myself. Oh, this is not long enough. I need, where is my other piece of pull party? Let's go back again. This one wasn't long enough. So 2 3/8 back to the 2 notches before the half. 2 3/8. I should have known. I didn't have all my cards. Like 5 3/8. So there goes that one. This is the bottom layer. Okay. 5/8 by 3 1/8. It says 3 1/8. 3 1/8. This is 3 1/8. And 5/8. 2 notches after the half. Oh, this is our piece for the our stopper. I'm calling it a stopper. Okay, and then these all I have. So now we need our designer series paper. Okay, so the bottom step layer, we're going to be using the striped pattern. 3/4 by 5 1/4. So 3/4. I know this has got a lot of layers to it. 3/4 by 5 1/4. And you'll see all these pieces are gonna match up soon. Okay, now 2 3/4 by 3. And this is the center layer. The center layer. Okay, so then that's this pattern. 2 3/4 by 3. So this one, 2 3/4 by 3. And then since I'm here, down here, this is the one I don't have. Where is this one? 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So 2 3/4. That should be fine. 2 3. This is going to be for our die cut. It's not a layer. Okay, so back to, we need our side layers, which are going to be the stripes again. So our sides are 1 by 3. 1 by 3. This card is going to give your recipients the wow factor. They're going to say, look at all the work that they put into my card. Okay, those 2. Oops, I should have maybe taped this down, but then I didn't want it to get in the way as we were doing the others. Okay, so 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. So this is this one, 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. This is our bottom layer. Okay, 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. We already got that. 1/2 by 3 inches for our stopper. I'm gonna go 1/2. Wait, what is it? 1/2 by 3, right? 1/2 by 3. I'm gonna cut my 3 first, and then I'll do the 1/2. So what are your thoughts about this non-traditional non-traditional colors. That's gonna go over there. Okay, that we already got. Okay, I think we're done with all of that layer cutting. So I'm gonna get all this designer series paper out of my way. All right, so get the trimmer out of the way. And then we could start working on all of these layers. So this one is going to go here. These are our sides. So our sides. And, you know, if you don't want to do like layers, you can omit all of the pool party and then just do the designer series paper. So these are all like so. So we're gonna start gluing all these. But you know, you could always just do the designer series paper. And if you only do the designer series paper, do the measurements on the cardstock, all the pool party. Instead of pool party, just do your designer series paper. Okay, I'm gonna move that out of the way. Okay, let's get this little guy. I already got glue on my finger, so of course everything's gonna stick to it now. This little guy, oops. There. Let's get this guy, and then we are gonna glue all of these on. Oh, the only thing I didn't cut, which I just realized, is our white piece for the inside. Uh-oh, did this one move on me? Looks a little crooked. And it's probably already dry. I can't move it. Okay. And our sides. I really like I said, I like this designer series paper. So I was like, I am going to somehow make a Christmas card with it. And so this is my Christmas card. All right, one more layer. This is our center layer. And then we are gonna glue all these pieces onto our fancy card base. Let's get all our layers in. Okay, so let's lay this down. And this is going to go here on the bottom. And on my thing, it tells you where each of the layers go. So this I'm calling the bottom step. These are our sides. And I feel like I need some music in the background. You know, I'm one of those people, I have to have background noise. When I'm creating, I have music or the TV constantly going. Should I move that a little bit? Here goes our centerpiece. Right here in the center. Flip this over, and this one is going to go here because, again, when it lines up, it's going to be like that. And we need to cut our white piece. I didn't cut that. And you know me, I like the 1/8 inch border. That's why we have the really thin. And then I'm gonna wait to put this one on. This is gonna be our stopper. I'm calling it a stopper. But let's get our white piece cut. And where insert? 3 1/8 by 5 3/8. So 5 3/8. By 3 1/8. 3 1/8. All right. So if you want to stamp a sentiment on the inside, you can. Just, I am not for right now. Maybe later I will, when I get ready to send out my Christmas cards, because it's only August. But you know what? You got to get a head start. I am always one that works ahead, but yet I'm always behind when it's time to send. Don't ask me why. So there's all our layers. Okay, and like I said, we're going to put that last because now we are going to do some stamping and die cutting and stamping. So let's do this die cutting here first. So we need the second to largest stylish shape circle, which is from this designer series paper. Okay, so then my piece for my Noel, I put adhesive sheet on the back of it because I don't want to have to glue those again. So that's totally up to you, but much easier if you put an adhesive sheet. We have this leaf here in Pretty Peacock. Leaf, branch, whatever you want to call it. And I have 2 more that we might be able to squeeze in here. This is just a thin, you really only needed a half a piece, but I, of course, grabbed all of my big piece. And then these are the strings for our ornaments, and then these are the tops for our ornament. I'm gonna move that off of my circle. There we go. Okay, so let's die cut all of these first. And I'm gonna go over it twice just because I have that adhesive sheet on the Noel. Okay. So get that, get this, get this. And I'm sure everything cut. It's just, we have to pull it all out. All right, I'm gonna move this out of the way for now because we have to stamp all of our ornaments. And that's what this piece is for. But let's take off, there's that. There's our circle. Here is our letters. And see, they're all gonna come out because we have that adhesive sheet. It's gonna be so much easier. My original one, I glued them on. And so you know me, I had glue everywhere. And then these are the tops to our ornaments. All right, move that aside for a minute. And then these are all of our little strings for our ornaments as well. So it's nice. It cuts out 5 strings and 5 tops. Plus there's some other tops. Okay, am I not going to get these all of a sudden? Okay, sorry. I didn't, and we're not even going to use these, so you could, well, you're going to get 5 regardless, but as I say, you could probably just cut them in half because I'm going to cut them once I put them on. All right, so there's those. So now let's stamp all our ornaments. So I am going to get this out of the way. I'm going to get a scratch piece of paper because I'm gonna stamp off. So I'm gonna do some grid paperwork. So this is Pool Party, and we're gonna do this one. I have one on each side. So this one is like the inside. So there's the inside. I'm gonna take this off so we could see. So I stamped off first. Now, this is kind of like the outline, and I'm gonna do that full strength. Okay, so pull party. Let's get that out of the way. Put this stamp back on there. Now we have Calypso Coral, this little guy. This is the inside, so I'm gonna stamp off, stamp it. This is like the outline. Stamp it. We got a lot of stamps here. We got Flirty Flamingo. Let's see. This side is the inside. I'm moving this over here. Oh, I should have did. All right, so I'm gonna do this the opposite. I should have did that stamped off and the lines full, but now I'm gonna do, and I'm trying to see if I could do this with the other stamp on it. Fairly good, but actually, I'm gonna redo that. There is the lines, full strength. Here is stamping off. And that's our Flirty Flamingo. I got stamps everywhere. We're not done. And I'm gonna have to turn this around because the fact that when I messed it up, I'm probably gonna have to grab another piece of white, which I have. So stamping that off. This is Timid Tiger. And then we're gonna do our line, our outline. Timid Tiger. Get this out of the way, put this stamp, and we have one more Lemon Lolly. And you know what? I have another piece because we are going to not have enough where, oops, I took the wrong one off. And I almost did it the other way. All right, there's all our stamps. And with the magic of television, instead of you guys sitting here watching me die cut all these, ta-da, I have them. And I actually already glued our little tops on. But you know what? I should probably die cut a couple just to show you how to glue the tops on. I don't want to be like I skipped a step. Although we do have dies for all of them, we could probably put them on. Like I said, I don't want to skip any steps for you guys. So as you notice, the tops are kind of squared off or straight edged, I guess. Let's get this little guy. Let's get this one. I'm gonna have to move that paper. And the last one, this guy. This one just, could you imagine if we did it in red? It would look like, since I gotta have another piece of tape, it would look like a candy cane. I don't know, it reminds me of a candy cane. All right, so let's cut all of those. One. Oh, nice. They all came off and the dies stuck with the tape. All right. Get this back out of the way. Like I said, I already had all of these, but watch what we're gonna do. I have 2 silicone mats, and so just make sure that all your straight edges are at the top. This one stuck. The rest stayed with the die. Okay, so now all these little guys, I'm gonna get my take your pick tool. Pop the rest of these out. And you know the way for these to fall out easier is run this die through your cut and emboss with a fabric softener sheet. All right, so we're just gonna put a dot of glue on the top of each. A little dot goes a long way. And I'm sure you guys hear me saying that all the time. A little goes a long way, and then I end up always using a lot. Somehow I get it smushed on my fingers, and let's get this one. And then we're actually gonna flip all these over so we can put our string. Okay, this little guy is not cooperating. All right. So one more. It won't pop out. And then my putty is like going crazy over here. Okay, so that's how I glued my tops on. So, you know, I'm gonna move this aside, and we're gonna use those ones that are already glued since they're already dried, and we're just gonna flip them all over. And put them this way. And it really kind of doesn't matter where you put it. So I just kind of did a line of glue because we're gonna trim these so they can go down pretty far as long as you don't go over the bottom. And then these are our strings. So like so. I'm using that so I don't get the glue on me. And and our strings are just basically for looks. And you know what? I need another one because we only get 5 and I have 6 ornaments. So this one's gonna go tiny so that we could cut it. And then add it over here. And I think we're still gonna end up trimming these ones. Oh wait, what happened? I still have 1, 2, oh, I was like, how come I'm still short one, but I had the other one over. Ah. Let's see, those kind of things always happen to me. Okay, so let's let those dry, and we're gonna get our Noel and put it on our circle. And our circle probably could have been a little bit lighter. I didn't realize I got the kind of dark part of the designer series paper that matches, but you know what? You could even do this in white if you wanted to, or how about the lemon lolly? It's still gonna stand out, but let's put our Noel on there. And so do you guys prefer traditional Christmas colors like red and green, or do you like to be a little bit different? And go with non-traditional. I I actually like both. Just kind of depends. It depends, actually it depends on the designer series paper, what is gonna make my mind up. And see, easy, much easier than trying to put liquid glue on that. So this, we're gonna glue this on, and we're not gonna really put much on the top because this is gonna hang off of our card. So you can lay it flat if you want, kind of like hang it off. We're gonna get some dimensionals for this guy. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And in my picture on my tutorial, my picture doesn't have the array of dots, so I'll show you in a minute, but we're gonna add them. Okay, so now we are going to glue our ornaments on, and I wanted to glue them because I kind of didn't want this card super bulky because, you know, shipping purposes, we don't want them to be too bulky. I always add extra postage to mine anyway. So these are kind of alternating in height. Again, we're going to trim these. We're going to add our little guys to the steps. And I don't know, what are your thoughts? Do you guys like the string on them or no string? What's the little, oops. You could actually put baker's twine and have real string if you wanted. There goes this one. Oh, you know what? I did 5 of them and I didn't even need 5. I mean, I did 6 and I didn't need 6. So that, for some reason, I did 2 of those. Or these were the ones I did before, so I didn't realize. So then this one is going to go right inside here. Like so. And then I am going to put this, and we can just trim these a little. Trim, trim. These ones, we don't want them hanging over too much. And then this one, where did I do that one? I did to the top. See, there. All right, so that is pretty much all of that. So now our stopper, what I'm calling the stopper, we're gonna add some dimensionals. And put that to where, oops, where, let's put it this way so then the yellow, the lemon lolly is not on the lemon lolly. Actually, let's go down some, so say like a 1/2 inch from the bottom, like so. And then it's gonna go like this. And then now see, so let me show you. This does not have any array of dots on it, these pictures. So I just want to point that out. We are adding them. You can see that I added them. And we are going to add 3 of the big ones. So let's go lemon lolly. Let's go pool party. Oops. Pool party in the center. Flirty flamingo on the end. We're gonna add, and I'm gonna do these the opposite way. because my original is different. Of course it is. I snorted. Sorry, you guys. I snorted when I laughed. Because, of course, typical, mine's different. And my strings, I actually cut all the way off. But when you fold your card to send it, it's going to go like that. It's so this, even if you made your strings longer, they're still going to fit in the envelope. So that is today's card. Like I said, there's a bunch of layers, but there's our cards. I hope you guys like it and you'll make it, even though it's a non-traditional Christmas card. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will be back next Friday with another video for you. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye.